Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Chiller Night pre-show. I'm Bryan Hogue, and I'll wait a few minutes for more people to join us here. We started the pre-show. I'm on my phone here, by the way, because we have no Wi-Fi. It keeps coming and going, so I don't know what time we'll get that back. So I just figured I'll do... Hey Tanya. Brad Beck. Maybe I'll switch to my other glasses here. Travis. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. There, that's a lot better. Yeah, so I'm on my phone here tonight. No Wi-Fi service here, so I'm just, I guess I'm just adapting and overcoming. So I use the old phone on data. Well, tonight, hey, we have two brand new shows tonight. We have the a brand new Chiller Night Theater, and we have a brand new Chiller Chat. So the Chiller Night Theater comes on at 9 p.m. So we have the hour countdown beginning, and that is going to be Grave of the Vampire. So that's a pretty good movie. And then and what I like about it is the vampire is kind of a brutal killer, so that's good. He's not not one of these modern vampires. He's kind of like the Brad Beck with I lost it. Oh no. Everything went, rotate your phone, everything went crooked. Folks, bear with me. This is me trying to, okay. It's the Chiller Night pre-show with Bryan Hogue, starring Bryan Hogue, and now here's your host, Bryan Hogue. A lot of Bryan Hogues. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is, this isn't, now maybe if I turn it this way. I don't think you guys can see this happening, but on my end, I'm reading everything sideways. Again, if you're just coming on here and seeing this, I have no Wi-Fi, so I'm using my phone on data. So just bear with me, and then we'll go back to the nice webcam look for next week. Hopefully, if we have Wi-Fi next week. I guess if not, this is the way I have to adapt, I guess. So. But tonight at 9 p.m. on Chiller Night Theater, Grave of the Vampire, Jack Shadow and Elle Von Nock, the vampire character. She joins in some hosting duties for tonight, so that'll be interesting. 11 p.m. Now this is kind of an interesting one here. Yeah, I'm sideways. Am I sideways too? Then how's this? I didn't know. Thanks for telling me. How am I doing now? Am I good now? Is this good?
Yeah.
How's this? There's a delay here now. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go.
Show you.
Am I good now? Is this good? Okay, well, at least I can read the comments now, so that's good. Not having Wi-Fi stinks, Brad Rose. Thank you, Ava. Yeah, none of the other viewers were going to let me know that. But anyways, the 11 p.m. Chiller Chat that's going to be on. The neat thing about that, now we have the late George Costanza, who's going to be on this. Now, if you might not know that name, and you might not recognize the character's name either, Sheriff McClellan. But you'll definitely recognize the movie that the actor and the character were from is Night of the Living Dead, the original Night of the Living Dead. So, yes, our guest tonight is George Costanza, who played Sheriff McClellan on Night of the Living Dead. That'll be on 11 p.m. And I'll come back to that after I get through the schedule. I'm like I'm my attention spans like a one of those little laser pointers with the cat. I'm always like, oh, something shiny. So I have to struggle to keep on topic here. But anyways, okay, enough of this nonsense. Okay, at 11:30 p.m. The Ape, Chiller Night Theater. Jack Shadow features The Ape, starring Boris Karloff. And at 1:30 a.m., Chiller Chat has hi Tammy. Tammy says hello. So thanks for joining us tonight. At 1:30 a.m., Chiller Chat with Samantha Daner. Now Samantha plays Elle, and you'll get to see her on tonight's episode here at 9 p.m. on Grave of the Vampire. She's actually sharing in some of the hosting duties tonight, so that's kind of neat. And at 2 a.m., again, we see the feature presentation. The feature movie of the night is repeated at 2 a.m., Grave of the Vampire. So, Chiller Night TV schedule for tonight on Stream TV is Grave of the Vampire, Chiller Chat with George Costanza, Chiller Night Theater with the Ape, Chiller Chat again with Samantha Daner, and then Grave of the Vampire once again to top off the evening. The Chiller Night programming is on Stream TV. Stream TV, you can visit that at www.streammedia.tv to watch the Chiller Night TV programming for the night. So, and if you don't know, have you ever any feedback? Has anybody seen this before? Stream TV, I say it's relatively new as far as my involvement with Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat, just since the later part of 2017. We started out Chiller Night Theater on Stream Television on the last Saturday of October. I think it was October 28th of 2017. But we played every Saturday night since then. Every Saturday night from 9 p.m. until 3:45 a.m. If you love old horror movies, old science fiction movies, old classic and not so classic horror and science fiction movies of yesteryear, the old Saturday night hosted horror show look and feel, then you'll definitely want to tune in to Stream TV. Stream TV is the place to be for that. So, so, and I'll go over that schedule a little later once we get more. We might get some more viewers joining us here as we go along. I said that our guest tonight is George Costanza, the late George Costanza. He passed away in, I think it was December of 2016. But let me tell you about tonight's Chiller Chat. That one's going to be on 11 p.m. This has never been aired before. We did a live Chiller Chat back in 2011. 2011. This has been a while ago, so let's go back in time about 7 years. We had cast members from Night of the Living Dead up to Oil City at the Latonia Theater, and we had, and I say this in the introduction for that show. We had live bands. We had a live audience. We had the theater was open to us to do this show. We had John Russo, Russ Streiner, and George Costanza up, and then Nate Reagan, one of our local guys, somewhat local in Clarion, from the Clarion area. He came on as our fourth guest, so it was kind of neat because if you've seen the show with Nate, you'll see that you'll know that he was one of the costume consultants for Scream 4, for Ghostface, for the main villain in that movie. So what's that? My head's cut off?
Yeah.
Why aren't you? Why ain't nobody else telling me this stuff? What's that?
I wrote to you.
I didn't see. Is there any way you could adjust the phone up a little bit? I guess. See, I'm looking at my screen and I see. Nobody else. What are you seeing? Like above my eyebrows or something?
When you move back, it's good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know.
Welcome, baby.
The rest of you, just All right, I'm having problems adjusting to my phone. Now you'll have to either turn that volume down on that one, or because I'm hearing my delay.
All right, love you, baby.
All right, love you too. Thanks. And you let me know if this is okay, because apparently nobody else will. But anyways, all right, this is about George Costanza. And if you're just coming on now, I'm using my phone here tonight because my webcam is useless. I have no Wi-Fi. We have no Wi-Fi, so I'm trying to get back into the hang of using this phone. Evidently, not too successfully, but experiencing user error issues. But anyways, yeah, that was kind of neat. John Russo, Russ Streiner, and George Costanza all came up from Night of the Living Dead and shared the day with us in front of a live audience with live bands, and we did it just like a talk show. So it was pretty cool. But like I said, just to reemphasize, that this episode that you're going to be seeing tonight on Stream TV, it's never been shown before. It was actually, I wrote down in my Facebook description that it was recovered, and that was actually true with the John Russo and Russ Streiner videos as well. For years, after we first did the show, I got the content back, and it wouldn't open. It would not open for the longest time. I was trying everything I could to open it up, and it wasn't playing. All I could do was hear it. So back when we first started the idea of relaunching Chiller Chat as its own show, back at the beginning of this year, of 2018, I was looking for some movies to play for Chiller Night Theater. I came across these DVDs in a tote that was in my basement in storage, and I was like, I wonder what's on these. I brought them up. They wouldn't play on my DVD player, but I put them in the computer, and I was able to open them through Pinnacle Editing, and lo and behold, there were my interviews. So if you're seeing this as a new episode and you're wondering why, because it was filmed back in 2011, that's why. Because it's never been aired before. It was never able to be aired before. What a week that I had, though. I put all these together. I put together a brand new Chiller Night Theater, Grave of the Vampire, and put together a brand new Chiller Chat. Now, this month, there's going to be 2 more new Chiller Chat episodes. One's going to be with the Tops Paranormal Investigation Team with Rod Fee and Ned Holmes. Now, I believe if everything goes okay, my electronic equipments are, really playing some tricks on me this week. But I plan to have their show on next Saturday night. And the week after that, the Western Pennsylvania Paranormal Investigation Team joins us for another brand new Chiller Chat. So, new Chiller Chats, and then tonight, a new Chiller Chat with a new Chiller Night Theater. So that's kind of neat. Last week, by the way, I did a 10 countdown, and it was the 10 horror movies that were more funny than scary. And Brad Beckwith wrote, "Nice Chiller Chat Theater Friday the 13th marathon last night." Oh, that's cool. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, last night, that's true. Last night we had the Friday the 13th, because it was Friday the 13th, Chiller Night Theater marathon. And that was pretty cool. We played just back-to-back Chiller Night Theaters from 6 p.m. until about midnight or so. So, that's the first time we ever had one of these marathons, so that was kind of neat. It's been discussed before in the past, but this is the first time. And some of our regular Saturday night viewers may have seen those movies already, but there might have been a lot of new viewers too, because it was on a different night on stream television. So we didn't want to throw any new ones in at that at that point, I wanted to save the new one for tonight for the regular Saturday night viewers. So I hope you enjoy it. Grave of the Vampire tonight. But last week I was doing the 10 countdown about the 10 horror movies that were more funny than scary. Tonight I'm going to do another one. But before I do that, a movie that I thought should have been on that list. I was going to mention this last week, but I get diverted real quick, something shiny or squirrel, and then I'm doing something else. My mind goes in another direction. But Return of the Living Dead. I thought that should, why I thought of that one? Because on July 3rd, I rewatched that because it was supposed to have taken place, the events of this story, were true and all this. I remember the beginning of Return of the Living Dead, but it was a funny movie, but it also had a creepiness about it too. But I love the interaction there between Bert and Ernie, the two guys in the movie, the two older gentlemen. But I enjoy that movie. I thought it was pretty good. So, but anyways, that's one of the movies I thought should have been on that list. And before I get to that list, I mentioned Night of the Living Dead. I mentioned that a little earlier because our guest on Chiller Chat tonight was on Night of the Living Dead as Sheriff McClellan. But I don't know if you've ever seen this one, the remake. Tom Savini directed the remake of Night of the Living Dead, 1990. I believe it was 1990. But, say what you will about remakes. I love this version of Night of the Living Dead. I think it's a great movie. I think it's fun to watch. Tom Savini, I think, does a great job, at setting the scene. I've emphasized this in the past. I'm big and heavy on atmosphere, and he does a fantastic job with his version, or his directorial version of Night of the Living Dead. He did a great job, but this is a fun movie to watch. So, and Brad's writing, The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price reminded me of Night of the Living Dead. Well, that's interesting you would bring that up because George Romero was inspired by that movie. He and some of the others involved in making that movie were inspired by The Last Man on Earth when they wrote Night of the Living Dead. And so, yeah, you can kind of... And I'll tell you what, another thing, and this was mentioned on one of the Chiller Night Theaters. I think Jack Shadow might have brought this up before. Or maybe I did on Chiller Chat. I really don't remember. I get... There's a fine line between myself and that Shadow character. But there's a scene in The Last Man on Earth where Dr. Morgan's wife comes home in the zombie or vampire. They're kind of a mix. They don't, they're supposed to be vampires, but they actually have the qualities more of what we see as zombies now on TV, but our modern zombies. We didn't have those yet. We didn't have the zombies yet that ate people. So she comes to the door after he drops her off at the tomb. I think he buries her. I don't recall. Did he bury her or took her to the pit? Anyways, the point of it is, he's in his living room and you hear Morgan, and you see that doorknob turning. It's a really good scene. You see that, and it's builds. You're building that because you're thinking, oh boy, that's his dead wife. She's come back and she's turning that doorknob, trying to open that door. There's a really neat scene in the very first episode of The Walking Dead where that happens with Morgan, the other Morgan, the character on The Walking Dead, where his wife comes up on the porch where he and his boy Dwayne and Rick Grimes are in the house, and Morgan's wife comes up on the porch, and you see that doorknob turning. Now the difference is she doesn't get in the house, where in The Last Man on Earth she does actually walk into the house. So that is neat. like the doorknob thing like The Walking Dead. Yeah, yeah. And maybe I even mentioned that last night, and I didn't catch the. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't get a chance. And it's been a while since I've seen that one with Jack Shadow hosting that one. So, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Maybe that's the episode I bring that up in. I probably did. But Night of the Living Dead. The interesting thing about this, the guy who plays Sheriff McClellan in this. I say that because Sheriff McClellan will be, George Costanza will be on Chiller Chat tonight. The guy who plays the Sheriff McClellan in the newer Night of the Living Dead was Russ Streiner. Russ Streiner played Johnny on the original Night of the Living Dead, and we had both of them there the day that we interviewed George Costanza. So all kind of interesting things that piece together. But now. Yes, Brad writes, the doorknob thing is very creepy. Yeah, I think they did a really good job of setting that scene. Really good job. Now, the 10 scariest movies of all time. I figured I would do this. Now, you tell me if you agree with this. I know, well, I'm going to read them, and then we can talk about them if you want. But this is from HollywoodReporter.com. 10 scariest movies of all time. 10. Ringu from 1998. Now, you'll recognize it more as the U.S. remake was called The Ring. So that's number 10. Number 9. Paranormal Activity from 2007. I have to agree. Now, they wrote this 10, 9, and I don't know. I would think that we'll see as we go down the list that I wonder if they have their numbers backwards. But anyways, Paranormal Activity is on their list, number 9 from 2007. I happen to actually think that was a scary movie, a creepy one. The first one was, and then it just became a franchise after that, just like any other. You had The Nightmare on Elm Street. That was a very good movie, and then you make kind of the fast food approach to these movies, and it kind of ruins the flavor. But anyways, number 9 was Paranormal Activity. Number 8, Psycho from 1960. I can't disagree with that. I think that Psycho is a great movie. I don't know. Scariest? Yeah, I remember seeing that as a kid on probably Chiller Theater. That's where a lot of my monster movie, horror movie memories come from. I remember being very terrified at, being kind of like, especially the end scene with the, or not the end scene, but the middle of the movie with the shower scene. That really surprised me. I was not expecting that as a kid watching this, but and a lot of people weren't. A lot of audience members were really surprised by that with Janet Leigh when she was in the shower scene and was hacked, in that very famous hacking scene with the knife, chopped up by the killer there, Norman Bates. And number 7. Don't Look Now from 1973. Honestly, I've never heard of that movie. Don't Look Now from 1973. I'll have to look it up, see if it's any good, and if it's a public domain movie, maybe I'll play that on Chiller Night Theater. Brad wishes Psycho is public domain. I wish it was too. That'd be great to play that on Chiller Night Theater. But I'll have to check Don't Look Now. Has anybody seen Don't Look Now from 1973? It's on the list of Hollywood Reporter for 10 scariest movies of all time. So I don't have an informed opinion on that one. I've never seen it, never even heard of it. Number 6, The Shining from 1980. I thought it was a creepiness to it. I don't know if I'd put it in my 10 scariest movies of all time, but it's definitely a horror classic, But now number 5, The Exorcist from 1973. I don't know if I would put that at number 5. I think I would put that a little closer to within the top 3. But The Exorcist from 1973, of course. Brad says the shower scene is a classic from Psycho, and then Ava writes, "Let's watch it." What, Psycho? You want to watch Psycho? Or The Shining? This is on a delay, folks. So by the time I'm reading these, I might have already passed what you were talking about. Yeah, classic movie, The Shining. Brad writes. Yeah, The Exorcist, 1973. They have it as number 5. I would put it within the top 3, but okay, this is their list, thehollywoodreporter.com. Number 3, The Blair Witch Project from 1999. I've talked about this before on Chiller Chat. I would easily look and have that in the top 3. I thought it was a very, it's a one-time deal, folks. You can't watch that again and be, have that same, creepiness to it. But Don't Look or Something. Don't Look or Something. I don't know what you mean there, Ava. I'm reading Don't Look or Something. You ought to just come in here and tell me what you mean. But anyways, yeah, The Blair Witch Project, 1999. I think it was a very scary and creepy movie. One of our modern. The name of the movie. Don't Look or Something. Don't Look. Huh. Oh, Don't Look Now. Oh, okay. Yeah, we could watch that. I'll have to find it. Maybe it's on YouTube. But anyways, yeah, we could check that one out. The Blair Witch Project. Again, I agree with that one. Absolutely, I would put that in my top 3. That's not one you can watch twice maybe and put that in your top 3. But initially watching that movie, I definitely agree that was within my top 3. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is number 2 on this list. You mentioned it in the beginning. Okay. Yes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is number 2 on the HollywoodReporter.com's list of 10 scariest movies of all time. And the number 1 movie, they have this as number 1. And the 10 scariest movies of all time, according to the HollywoodReporter.com. Their list has their number 1 movie as Funny Games from 1997. Again, I say, Funny Games from 1997. I've never heard of this movie. Never, ever have I heard of Funny Games from 1997. So, whether that deserves to be number 1 on the list of 10 scariest movies of all time, I don't know. I can't say, but the Hollywood Reporter says that's on their list anyways. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think that any of those in the list should be there? I'll tell you the ones I think should be there. Ava says, let's watch that too. Funny, hey, if we can find it, we'll watch it. Well, we will find it. We have the means. We can do this. Except for now, our Wi-Fi is down, which is again why I'm on my phone instead of the webcam. But anyhow, we'll have that fixed by next week, hopefully. But the ones that I would have on my list for this, I definitely would have Paranormal Activity, the first one. Like I said, before it became the Burger King of movie franchises. Paranormal Activity, the first one, was good. I want to say Psycho just because it's a classic, but I don't know that would be on my top 5 for 10 scariest movies of all time. Back when I first saw it as a kid, yeah, scared me to death. But so did Salem's Lot. That would have been on my list. Would it be on my list now? No. But I enjoyed the movie, but it wouldn't be on my list right now. Now, a movie like Blair Witch is very rare. Yeah, it's like I said, that was a one time deal. Once you see that, I don't think you can have that same feeling with, like The Exorcist. I don't know. The Exorcist is kind of creepy though. I think you could watch that numerous times and still have that creep factor to it. But Paranormal Activity, The Exorcist, The Blair Witch Project, those three, yeah, I'm gonna say would be on my top 10 even now. So that is that. Are those my favorite? Not necessarily, but as far as creepiness, that the chill factor, from 1 to 10. When initially watching it, yeah, I'd give the three of those a 10. I really would. Those three. Here's one of my, and this is I love this movie here. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. Um, that again, there's a difference. I can appreciate a horror movie. I can love a horror movie, but not necessarily think it's scary. But I can think that the story is a very good story and very well told. John Carpenter, is great at movie making, of course, and setting the music and the atmosphere. Again, that thing with the atmosphere. I love this movie, Prince of Darkness. It's one you don't hear often about, but I remember seeing this in the theater. Right about the time that John Carpenter, of course, came out with Halloween, and he comes up with the music, to these movies as well. So I consider him a real artist when it comes to movie making. But Prince of Darkness that's a good one. Now for TV, I'm going to go with modern day. I'm going to go with, and then now I'm out of the top 10. I'm out of the top 10 list. But modern day stuff, I do like The Walking Dead. I still like it. My interest level and my likability with that show is kind of taken a dive over the last 2 seasons probably. But I still enjoy it. I mean, we still watch it. But I don't know what they're going to do now that Andrew Lincoln is reported to be leaving the show. I guess evidently that's confirmed. So he wants to spend more time with his family. So you can't fault the guy for that. But what are they going to do? I don't know. Fear the Walking Dead has become a good one. Fear the Walking Dead. This season here, I enjoy that the best. I wasn't really. The other characters, I just wasn't in. I wanted to be into it, but I wasn't. But now this season, this current season with Morgan being on the show and the newer characters that they're introducing and kind of weeding out some of the other characters who weren't very interesting to me. My opinion, I don't know what you guys think, but I didn't. Who was the main character from that? The mom, I can't think of her name. And she was the main character. But I don't know. If anybody knows, tell me. But I don't know who's seen this, so I probably won't give away spoil. I just gave away a spoiler. Oops. But anyways, I do like the current direction of Fear the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, like I said, it was kind of taking a nosedive there. I still enjoyed the show. We still look forward to seeing it every Sunday. Some of the older horror movies, horror TV shows that I used to like is one here. I don't know if you guys ever watched this, The Night Strangler and The Night Stalker, and then they called the series starring Darren McGavin the Night Stalker. Now this series back here was on in the 70s. I remember as a kid watching these. I think it was on every Friday night if I remember right. But I used to love this show. I just love that. Chris Carter, the guy who came up with the X-Files, was inspired by the Night Stalker to come up with the X-Files. Instead of an investigative reporter, he switched the main characters into FBI agents, Mulder and Scully. But this is where it all came from. So, the Night Stalker. and this DVD has the Night Strangler as well, the movie. So those were. How about you guys? What are some of your favorite TV shows or movies? I told you what mine would be. Some of my at least top 3 of the scariest. Another one that I think has a real. I'll tell you what I find creepy about this. The original Dawn of the Dead. The original Dawn of the Dead was, was obviously, a low budget movie. But for what they had to work with, there was a feeling of dread about it. There was a feeling of hopelessness about it. And I don't know. There was just something, it just had that feel, that look and feel about it that they were able to really capture. I'm trying to read this comment from Brad Beckwith. Brad, I'm trying to open this, but when I do, I get this. After I watched MLW Wrestling Fusion at 7:50, I watched Chiller Night pre-show at 8 p.m., then I watched Chiller Night Theater at 9 p.m. Well, thank you. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support here. We have, what time is it? 8:36. I probably won't be on as long as I was last week. Last week was almost a whole hour. But I appreciate anybody viewing this. Anybody who does watch Chiller Night show or Chiller Night Theater, I really appreciate that on Stream TV and Chiller Chat. So we went over the Chiller Night programming for tonight. We went through the 10 list, trying something a little different here. As far as science fiction, again, we listen to or we watch horror and science fiction movies. Science fiction. The news of the week. The news of the week for science fiction news for Star Wars Episode 9. Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the next one coming out. 9 is Billy D. Williams reprises his role as Lando Calrissian. So, I have a little problem with that. Not that I don't like Lando, it's because I do like the character of Lando. And I actually wrote this on Facebook several months ago. Like, Billy D. Williams, if they come and ask you to be in these movies, the way that the direction that they're taking these, don't open your mail, don't answer your phone calls. If you're just looking for a paycheck, that's fine. But they evidently have this thing for just decimating and degrading the classic characters and then killing them off. So I wish I could be excited about this, but when I was a kid, I remember having, I enjoyed, of course, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and, I enjoyed the characters, and Lando, and I had the books when I was a kid. I got all the Lando Calrissian books. I was trying to remember the name. Flame Winds of Ocean, The Mine Harp of Sharu, and the Star Cave of Thambaka. So I enjoyed the character, and I liked what they did there with him. But I can't imagine. I don't know if they do that character justice, then good on them. But I have no interest, in seeing these movies anymore. So I guess I just feel bad for Billy D. Williams, because he might be excited to join back with this franchise, and I just can't imagine what they're going to do with that character. And, I wish I could be excited about it, but I heard people, Brad says, I heard people said that Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, was so bad, it's scary. Yeah, I did a movie review on that, Brad, and, my opinions of that movie are less than favorable, and I make that, my feelings on that pretty clear during the movie review. Yeah, I didn't care for it, but I also see you wrote, I love the Friday the 13th horror movies, Okay, I was asking earlier about what are some of your favorite movies. Yeah, I enjoyed those. In fact, when I was a kid, my first rated R movie I went to was Friday the 13th Part 2. So, um, I'm trying to think. Oh, actually the first one that Jason was the killer. So, pretty cool, pretty good. You know, if people have to think about that because they think that the Jason was the killer in all the Friday the 13th movies. There's actually two where he wasn't. So, do you know which ones he wasn't? You can. I'll wait for responses. But there were actually two movies where Jason was not the killer in the Friday the 13th movies. So we'll see if you know. Robert Burkhart, thanks. Right, thanks. Made the Star Wars Holiday Special look good. Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching the Star Wars Holiday Special, and as a child, as much as I loved Star Wars, I sat there confused. Confused as hell. I didn't know what in the world was going on. You know, but it was Star Wars. I sat there like, I think I guess I'm supposed to be excited about this, but I was so confused. But right now I'm going to take a moment to go over the Chiller Night schedule one more time. Probably not one more time, but I'm going to do it again. At 9 p.m. on Stream TV. At Stream TV tonight at 9 p.m. That's why I'm doing this, the Chiller Night pre-show, just to kind of remind people and generate awareness that these shows are on Stream TV at 9, beginning at 9 p.m. and lasting all night long. There are a few breaks in between some of the shows, but going on from 9 p.m. until about 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. And that's every Saturday night. If you like the old horror and sci-fi movies of yesteryear, join us every Saturday night at 9 p.m., beginning at 9 p.m. until 3:45 in the morning. Most of the time. So, but that's every Saturday night. Tonight at 9 p.m., brand new episode of Chiller Night Theater, Grave of the Vampire. 11 p.m., brand new episode of Chiller Chat. Our guest is George Costanza, the late George Costanza, who played Sheriff McClellan in Night of the Living Dead. And that's a good that's a good show. I really enjoy listening to this guy talk. 11:30, Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow features The Ape, starring Boris Karloff. And 1:30 a.m., Chiller Chat, and the guest is Samantha Diener. Samantha plays Elle Von Nock, the newest character on Chiller Night Theater, our newest vampire character. And then at 2 a.m., Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow once again features Grave of the Vampire, our feature movie for tonight. So, Brad writes, sounds like there's all new episodes of Chiller Night Theater, and it's loaded. All new episodes of Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat. So that's kind of neat. Both feature episodes of the night are new episodes. So I worked really hard this week to make sure that I got new episodes. So our brother Troy's giving me a thumbs up, so I hope you get to watch. Now, he's in Florida, and I know if you're in Florida, if you're in Nebraska, if you're in California, if you're wherever you get internet service, you can get Stream TV. You can either watch it online at streammedia.tv, or you can go to that website and click and connect to the Roku channel. It's very easy. That's what I watch it on. Or if you're residents of Oil City, Pennsylvania, you can watch it. That's your local access channel, channel 20, I believe, for Comcast, channel 20. So there's 3 ways right there that you can watch Stream TV. Most of you are outside of the Oil City viewing area. I'm aware of that. So watch it online. It's Stream TV. And you can watch the Roku channel as well. So very easy to connect to the Roku channel. So, folks, it is about 9:15. If there's no other interaction, I will probably Oh, somebody had brought up Phantom of the Opera last week. I just wanted to show off my Phantom of the Opera VHS. Hollywood movie greats. The great Lon Chaney Sr. played Eric, the character in here, the Phantom of the Opera. So remember that look there with the unmasking scene, very famous scene. It's a silent movie. I would play these. However, I just don't know that there would be. I enjoy them, but I don't know that there would be much of an appeal to our average viewer to watch a silent movie on Chiller Night Theater. So maybe I'll figure out a way to do a special one of these nights. Maybe I'll just have a silent running, a silent a silent evening. I don't know. Maybe the hosts will be silent too, and you got to read what they're saying. Who knows? But anyways, tune into Stream TV tonight at 9 o'clock. If there's nothing else, folks, I'm going to let you go, and hopefully you join us for a night of Chiller Night programming. And you can also catch episodes of Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat on Chiller Night Theater's YouTube channel. So you can do that, or you can go to chillernighttheater.com and you can catch episodes of Chiller Night Theater or Chiller Chat. And you can also, if you're looking to contact me, if you're interested in being a guest on Chiller Chat, you can contact me on either right here on Facebook, or you can do it at chillernighttheater.com at the contact section. So, folks, I appreciate you joining me tonight. We've only got about 15 minutes. A little under 15 minutes now before 9 o'clock, before Jack Shadow presents the first newest episode tonight, Grave of the Vampire. It's a good, creepy old movie from older, not old, but it's kind of old, early 70s. I think it's 1972 or 1973. Jack Shadow will tell you. That's his job. It's not my job. That's Jack Shadow's job to tell you that stuff. So Jack will give you all the information you need to know, and Elle actually joins Jack in some of the hosting duties for tonight as well. So that's kind of nice because it gives Jack's very busy, so it kind of gives Jack a little breathing room there. So that's kind of neat. So watch Grave of the Vampire tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm going to let you go so you can get your safety blanket that Jack Shadow is always talking about. You know, pull that blanket up around you tight. Get your pizza and popcorn and whatever snacks and treats you need to get through these movies. Or maybe, some of these drinks, to help you get through some of these movies. No, they're not that bad. In fact, some of them are pretty good. I'm actually surprised at the quality of some of these movies for being public domain, like The Last Man on Earth and Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, I Bury the Living. Movies like that, I think, House on Haunted Hill, very good movies. But folks, thank you for joining me tonight for the Chiller Night pre-show, and I hope you join Jack Shadow, and I hope you join me later on throughout the night as I'm hosting Chiller Chat. I'm actually not hosting the first Chiller Chat episode at 11 p.m. Again, this was back in 2011. I was sharing my hosting duties with some other individuals who used to be involved with the show back then. But I will be back as regular host at the 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat episode. So, all right, folks, thank you for joining me. And have a good night. Have a good Chiller night. All right, we'll see you next week.